Everybody has a voice, and a voice is needed in every aspect.
Right.
For example, like I said, voice messages. That needs a voice. IVR on hold messages. Thank you for calling the Hope Rescue Mission, serving the homeless since 1894. Your call is important to us. So you notice how I'm smiling?
Yeah.
Okay? That changes the dynamic of it.
Mm-hmm. This is a first for Fred Talk, part 2. Like pretty much almost right after, which is awesome. And we spoke so much about your past, we forgot you do a lot of cool stuff, my man.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Well, I found you on Facebook. I know we went through this last time, friends and all that stuff, but I love your voiceover work, dude.
Thanks, man.
Really cool.
I appreciate it.
You know, because you hear the voice and you always have an image of what the person looks like,
right?
You know, and then you're like, oh, it's just him.
Yeah.
And then you do like these different types of commercials too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really intrigued by like the voiceover thing. It's just, I'm like, I guess I could do that. Maybe I try to do that.
You can, you know, and a lot of times people think that voiceover. Many people think voiceover is just about the voice. It's not about the voice, because we all have a voice. You know what I mean? You know, people will say, "Oh, you have a deep voice. You should be in voiceover." You know, and then, you know, you get the deep voice. In a world, in theaters this Christmas, rated R. You know, you got a deep voice. Anybody wants to be the trailer guy voice.
Right.
But if you pay attention and listen to a lot of the commercials that are playing now, especially on TV, they're very conversational.
Interesting.
Okay. So voiceover is about bringing the script to life. Radio, it's about me. Okay. So one of the things that I had to learn when I got into the voiceover industry was I had to unlearn the radio stuff.
Okay.
And that was very humbling, because I've been doing radio for a long time. So I just figured, you know, I just jump on there and read the script with my radio voice. You know what I mean? And my voiceover coach was like, nope.
So you went to a voiceover coach?
Yes. So what a lot of people don't realize is with voiceover, you know, it's more than just picking up a piece of paper and reading over a script. There's a lot of different elements involved. The first thing that you want to do before you buy any equipment is you want to hire a voiceover coach. Okay. My voiceover coach is Donovan Cornitz. He's the voice of the Today Show.
Okay.
So I connected with him, and they don't take anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to be serious about it, and you have to have some sort of a potential. So when the pandemic hit, that's when I really, really dove into the coaching aspect of it. And like I said, one of the things that he taught me was, it's not about you, man. You have to bring that script to life. The script is the star, not you. So there was so many things that I had to unlearn. Another element that you want to, obviously you want to get your equipment. You want to have your microphones, your laptop, your interfaces. To the people out there listening, I'm probably speaking another language right now. But, you know, it's very attainable to get a basic setup.
Yeah, these days for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, you want to make sure you're in a room that is acoustically treated. That is a big part of it. You can take it in your closet. You can set up a whisper room in your closet, pad it up with towels and clothes and all. Like that's how I started. I first started doing voiceovers in my dining room with a high ceiling and walls echoing and very reflective.
Right.
And then I did some research, reached out to some people in the business. Also, YouTube University, of course.
Yeah, the best.
And got some acoustic treatment and treated my room up, and you know, so that was another aspect, you know, getting the equipment. And then the marketing. The marketing is a big, big, big piece of it too. So what I did was I hired a marketing coach by the name of Corey Disson, and he specializes in voiceover marketing.
How do you market a voiceover? That's so, I mean, like, I know I'm in marketing, but I've never had to, you know, market a voiceover personality. So like, how would you do that?
Well, just like you market any other business. A voiceover artist needs a name. A voiceover talent needs a logo. A voiceover talent needs a website. A voiceover talent needs social media all across the board. So it's a business. It's not a hobby. It's not a hustle. It's a business, and it's
But what's the
treated
story?
as so.
Like, what's the like, okay, so there's normal marketing tactics. I understand all that, but
Mhm.
like, what's the story? What's the, what's the headline? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what makes you want to select a voiceover coach?
What makes me want to select a voiceover
Yeah,
coach?
like, marketing, it's like they say sales is asking somebody out. Marketing is the reason they say yeah.
Right.
So like, what makes, like, how do you push that? How do you push yourself as a voiceover coach? What's like that main thing?
As a voiceover coach or a
I'm
voiceover
sorry,
artist?
voiceover artist. I'm sorry, yeah.
So everybody has a sound and everybody has a style. And one of the things that I struggled with when I decided to get into the voiceover industry, I didn't know how I was going to market myself.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows me on radio as DJ H. Vidal.
Mhm.
Okay. But I can't be DJ H. Vidal in voiceover. I had to figure out a way to separate those two. And I struggled to the point where I was borderline depressed. Like, I don't know how I'm going to market myself. Like, who am I in voiceover? Like, I don't want to be like DJ H. Vidal has its own brand. It has its own its own legs. I've been DJ H. Vidal since 1989. Who am I as a voiceover artist? So I hired this voiceover coach. His name's Corey Disson. And he was like, I have it. He's like, we're going to use your name. You're going to be you. And I was like, well, damn, son of a bitch. That's simple. So we came up with this concept, Sir Hamilton Newton, voiceovers that defy gravity. That's my voiceover tag. And if you go to my website, sirhamiltonnewton.com, you'll see how it breaks down my voiceover style. So I could go any direction with a broadcasting style, with a radio imaging style, with a conversational style, any different genre from radio imaging to auto commercials to concerts to voice messages. My voice is on several voice messages out there in Berks County. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I made the decision to market myself. And there's a need for voiceover everywhere, because if you think about it, everybody has a voice, and a voice is needed in every aspect.
Right.
For example, like I said, voice messages, that needs a voice. IVR on hold messages. Thank you for calling the Hope Rescue Mission, serving the homeless since 1894. Your call is important to us. So you notice how I'm smiling?
Yeah.
Okay. That changes the dynamic of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I was just reading it, thank you for calling the Hope Rescue Mission, serving the homeless since 1894. Thank you for calling the Hope Rescue Mission, serving the homeless since 1894. Your call is important to us.
That's so true.
Please choose from the following options.
Now, I remember people saying when you go pick up the phone, smile before you pick up the receiver.
Absolutely.
Back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, make sure you smile before you say hello. It makes a difference. People can tell. And it's so true. You just did it right there, man.
Yeah, man. So there's a voice needed everywhere. There's a voice needed for that. There's a voice needed for audiobooks. People write books.
Right.
There's voiceover needed for that.
Have you done an audiobook?
I was offered a job to do one, and I turned it down because it was for a friend, and it just wasn't worth the time.
Yeah, how long do you think it would take you to do that? Was that like the deciding factor?
Well, when you're reading of it, first thing I have to do is I have to read the book first, digest it, make it mine, and then I have to do the read.
Right.
And then after you do the read, then there's the editing part. You have to take out the breaths. You have to take out the mouth clicks. All that stuff has to come out.
Right.
And all that costs money. So what he was offering me, and what he was offering me and the work that was entailed, it just didn't make sense. So I had to respectfully decline. And I was very excited at first, but I was like, I don't have time. Bro.
Do you think it makes the book different if it's not the author speaking?
Not always.
Because that's interesting. Because I wonder, would I want to hear somebody else speak about a book that the person themselves could have spoke about? You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's right or wrong,
right?
But it makes you wonder. You know, not that you would know, I guess, if that person was talking or not. So
I mean, and there's a lot of individuals who may be authors who would rather have somebody bring that script to life,
yeah.
the way they would want it brought to life, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it's like it's almost like having a screenplay and then having
Yes.
to go through casting and all that.
Yep.
You know what's interesting to me is what part of your life did you say, you know what, I'm going to be a voiceover artist? Like, what was that moment or what happened that you were just like, I think I'm going to go do this?
Aside from people telling me that I have a great voice,
Yeah.
you know, the obvious, you know, filling up my ego, I was always intrigued by it. Like everybody would always say, you know, your commercials are great. Like your commercials, your radio commercials, they stand out. They stand out. They stand out. But I always wanted to challenge myself because I tend to get a little bored if I stay in one little lane.
That, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So it's like, and then the pandemic hit, and I was like, bam, this is it. And voiceover artists came out the woodwork during the pandemic because everybody was like, oh, I'm going to be a voiceover artist. I can work from home. I'm going to make a studio in my closet and be a voiceover artist.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, but it's a very, very competitive industry, man. Very competitive. Very competitive. And
I
expensive.
I see a bunch. There's a few out here, let alone TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that one guy that does a Schwarzenegger voice over and over.
Mhm.
His name Joe something. He's pretty good at it. You do impressions?
Nah, I don't do impressions, man. Hasn't been one of my strengths. I'm trying to think. Do I know any impressions? Let me process that. I can't think of any right now.
Well, how's business going then for you in the voiceover thing? Like you just said, it's very competitive, but how goes it?
Listen, man, it's going great. I finally found my sweet spot in voiceover. My sweet spot is the radio imaging genre. You're probably asking, what is radio imaging?
I was going to say that, but go for it.
So radio imaging is the branding voice of any radio station. Okay? The all-new, loud 98.5. That big voice guy that you hear in between songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Philly's Power 99. You know, here's another banger from, you know, that guy.
Yeah.
So, and I was able to sign deals with several radio stations throughout the country. I'm on a station in Buffalo, New York. I'm on a station in Lynchburg, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, and Mississippi.
So when you do all these voiceovers for all these stations, do you have to do a different one for each one, or
Yes.
okay, so it's all custom made, each
Yep.
one of those stations.
Yep.
There's no, you can't save yourself at all. No time saving, or it's just all just custom.
It's all custom. So what happens is the program director of that station or the production director of that station will send me the pages of script for me to read. In some cases, I read and produce.
Right on.
In some cases, I just read and send it out, send the dry reads off, and they do the production of it.
How often do you get those scripts, or how often are you working for the stations?
It varies. Like there'll be a time, like it comes in waves. Like there'll be a time where I'll get like script after script after script after script, like month after month after month, and then it'll be dry for a little while. You know what I mean? So it varies. It varies.
How's the podcasting going, man? The last time you were here, we were talking about you doing your studio, and I see a little something on Facebook.
Yeah, man, it's going well, man. It's going great. You know, still got a few hiccups and still learning a few little things, kind of white knuckling it a little bit, but it's going well, man. It's going well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you see it becoming maybe your third real, source of income now that you have the DJing, which you still do? Now you're doing the voiceovers. You think the podcast studio is going to blow up for you?
Only time will tell, man. It's very time consuming, the production of it and cameras and lights, and I'm sure you guys know that.
Yeah.
But it's fun, man. It's challenging, and it's challenging me to think outside the box and do something different and offer something to individuals within the area that may not have the means to do it. So yeah, it was something I've always wanted to try out, and it's going well so far. I've got like 3 clients.
That's awesome. But don't you think it's worth, the podcasting for branding? I feel like a lot of times, people are like, well, everybody has a podcast. And like, I get that. I'm not saying I'm new to the game. I came late, obviously I've seen a million people doing podcasts, but I feel like the branding aspect is something that a lot of people don't really discuss about the podcast. And they're just thinking you're trying to be like the next star. And what I come to find is that, sure, we'd all want to be stars, but I really don't do it for that. I love it because it's a break from my everyday that I get to talk to people, which is just fun as it is. But it helps me just get, the face out there. Freddie Vasquez, FXV Digital. Freddie Vasquez, FXV Digital. Then, you guys share it because you want to share your own shows.
That's right.
Like, how important do you think podcasting has become to branding?
It's so important, man. It's everything. Like I posted a video 4 years ago talking about video.
Yeah.
Like if you guys are not promoting your business on video, you better get on it now.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be the norm. I said that 4 years ago. But it's so important. It's so important because everybody wants to know who you are. It's all about the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could post a little flyer up. Here's my logo and here's my business. But who are you?
Right. I was talking with Trisha Williams, she was the first podcast of the day. We were talking about, reels and stories, and how those things have just blown up. And being that TikTok exists and everybody just loves that platform, everybody's trying to compete with them now. But man, it's just video. And I even asked her, is it even important to do that versus the timeline? She says it's nice to have a good mix of both, but I mean, there's so many different options to video, and people will just give you the same excuse all the time. Like, I just can't do it. I don't want to be in front of the camera. And I'm like, have you seen this? Have you seen this right here? You know what I mean?
I think he's a beautiful man.
Thank you.
Look at the beard. It's glistening.
It is glistening. It's
man.
Nice. It's beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate
sir.
that. But you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's like, how do you not do it this day? Like, everybody's looking to try to, cut through the white noise. I feel like if you're not doing video, you're just part of the noise, man.
The biggest part of it, I think, is fear, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are scared.
Isn't that everything, though?
Yeah.
Everything.
It's everything. But it's like, dude, you have a phone. You're on it anyway. Do something with it.
Right.
Do something with it. Like,
and the phones are great. The quality of phones these days is insane.
Absolutely.
Insane.
Absolutely. It's so important, man. It's just a great way for people to connect with you and connect with your brand. And what I found, in my marketing coach, Corey Disson, taught me this: schedule it. Break out a pen and paper and schedule what you're going to post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Once I see what's on that paper that I'm going to post, now it's time for me to create. And I schedule the day that I'm going to create my content for whatever that is.
So you schedule the one day for the whole week, or do you do it for like a whole month?
I'll schedule if it's like if I do like a DJ mixing reel blend kind of thing. What I'll do is I'll record an entire week's worth of reels in one session.
Wow.
I'll shoot it, edit it, and boom, save that. And then I'll create my branded content, like a still image. I'll create all that for the month. Let's say every Tuesday, I'm going to post testimonial Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So I'll have those ready for the month. Get that out the way. Wednesday, I might post something about something inspirational. Thursday, I might do a voiceover reel, where I'm reading something and then I'll play the finished product. That's probably the most production intense piece of content for me, is that.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only thing about videos. Like, yes, it's a necessity, but it takes time. It's so much easier to put up a photo, man. It's like, look at me in Hamilton, done for the day. You feel like you're done, but like when you look at the stories and the reels and the feed, let's just say you might get 10 likes, but man, those stories and reels are getting views like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know if people even scroll through timelines anymore, dude. It makes me wonder, because once you hit that first story, then you're going down that rabbit hole, dude.
Yep.
You're just looking at each one, and before you know it, it's 2 hours later. Your wife's yelling at you.
Yeah,
What are
I
you
stay
doing?
off of it. I stay off of it. I make sure I stay off of it. I don't even be on TikTok that much.
I mean, I know people talk crap about TikTok and all this, and I understand all that crap. I get it, but I'm a grown ass man. I'm an adult.
That's right.
I know what the hell I'm doing, right? That's been the most successful platform for me, dude. TikTok is different. The algorithm is different. The way and how it changes so quickly to what you're looking at. Like, I've seen the control I have over my algorithm, and it's almost like magic. Like, I'll sit there and go, okay, I'm gonna watch, these videos about the new thing on there is like, dumb ways to die is this weird thing where like people do stupid shit and they pause it. Dumb ways to die.
Yeah.
You watch one fully, and then they're gonna start coming up like quickly. You watch a DIY video fully from beginning to end, no stopping or nothing, then scroll a few, and then it'll start to change almost instantaneously based on what you're doing. Yeah, it's nuts. And there's days where, some days I feel like maybe it's not working that way, but it's almost just like, wow, I can actually control what I want. Where when you do that, unlike any other platform, I'm not saying they're not going to take that into consideration, but I feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't work that quick. But so if for my benefit is when I start talking about marketing, or I start putting up a video about marketing or something specific, people start to follow, people start to react, people start to comment. And I think it's only because my stuff starts coming up in their feeds because they watch that one video because you're talking about something that they really want to learn about.
Right.
So for you, I feel like you would destroy voiceover on TikTok, dude. Like, because I see you do it on Facebook, but people really go on there and they want to find out things. They want to see how things are being made. So it'd be cool for you to be like, check out my, my voiceover for this. And then you hear it. You want to know how I did it? Check it out. And then you just show them like how you did all that. It would blow up, dude.
Just gave me a nice little nugget, man.
There you go. Put that next month.
Kind of fired up.
That's
kind
free.
of fired up to try that. Yeah.
I would.
I thought you was going to send me an invoice for that.
No. I tell people it's crazy how much people want to learn about things. Like you were saying, you went on YouTube University, and TikTok does a lot of that. I found myself, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I watched a lawn mowing video over last weekend, 43-minute video. Okay, now, the whole shtick behind it is this guy goes wherever he is in his neighborhood, finds really bad lawns. Okay, they're like, horrendous. Lawns growing over sidewalks, all this stuff, right? He goes up to the door and says, I'm going to do this for you for free. Nothing. Don't pay me anything. Don't give me any money. Want to do it for free. And I get pleasure of watching him dig out the grass from the sidewalk and then edging, that beautiful, nice edge with the edger and all this stuff. And I'm watching him do this, and I'm watching the whole thing. And I'm like, wow. And I can't stop myself from watching it. Then my wife comes over, lays on my lap, and she's just like watching it. And we watched this whole thing for 43 minutes. And I'm like, I just watched a 43-minute video on fucking lawn mowing, right? Lawn mowing. But then I thought to myself, well, why did I watch it? Because I saw the pain point. I saw the crappy part of this video. Like, oh my God, all that work. Oh my goodness, it looks terrible. And he makes it into this beautiful thing. And I'm like, wow, because you, as a human, you just want to see, good, like bad to good, and how things get fixed and how things are made, how things are done.
The process.
And then I check out his other videos, dude. Millions upon millions of views.
Wow.
Millions, 12 million, 13 million, 40-something million of him mowing people's lawns. That's it. And then I go to myself, well, why would he do this? Oh, okay, now I know why. Because he's on YouTube. He goes to the person, hey, I'll do it for free. Why is he doing it for free? Because he has now his next video. And he puts his next video up, millions of views. And we all know YouTube pays. And then I went ahead, well, it can't be that much. I started looking it up. For about every 1,000 views, you get like, I think I read like $10 maybe, or maybe $5, whatever the case is. But take that and multiply that by 12 million. That's a nice little check. And then that's just one video.
Right.
And I'm just like, I mean, I don't mow lawns, so I mean, it's a bummer. Yeah. But I remember telling my buddy, Jim Holler, he owns Elite Pressure Washing, great dude, great service. I'm like, you should be filming you clean these people's just sidewalks. They just want to see it. Again, video and all this crazy stuff. I don't know where the hell I was going with that, but I'm just saying it's like, video and showing people how to do things. It's almost free money,
right?
Practically,
right.
So you should do that.
Yeah, I'm going to tap into it. I'm going to tap into it for sure.
Give you something else to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't have enough to do.
Yeah, right.
And traveling to Tampa, one of my favorite places, which I'm going to in a couple weeks.
Not when?
Going, leaving the 18th. 18th. And
Returning.
I'll be there for a week.
Okay.
We come back the following Saturday.
Okay. I'm leaving the 28th.
Oh, I just miss you.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Another gig?
Well, it's going to be.
If you say you're going to the Lightning again, I'm going to be so ticked
Not yet.
off. Okay.
Not yet. Nothing on the schedule for the Lightning, but yeah, half of it I'm going to be DJing, the other half I'm going to relax.
Yeah, we're doing it's not a vacation trip at all. We're scoping it out. Tampa's the place where we want to be, man. So we're scoping it out. We're checking out Dunedin again. We're checking out Clearwater, checking out even like St. Pete. And my wife's looking for property, and I think I'm going to be looking around to see what goes on in Tampa, marketing wise. Let's see, do some search and do some traveling. FXV South sounds really nice.
You'll do very well.
Yeah, you think so?
You'll do very well. I know so, and I'll plug in.
How's the? Is it like lack of marketing prowess, or is there just a lot of people that need help? Or
I would say there's some people that need some help, man.
Yeah.
I don't know of many marketing companies other than one. I don't know of many that are doing what you're doing. At least I haven't seen any that are doing what you're doing. But it's thriving down there. I mean, it's so much. There's so much you can do, and you don't just have Tampa. Like I said, you have St. Pete, you have Clearwater, then you have the beaches.
Mm-hmm. Which I was never a big beach guy, but I love the beaches. Like, yeah. I grew up in New York. If you know anything about New York, Jones Beach, no, that's why I hated the beach. But going down there, it's just like you tend to, at first I'm thinking to myself, well, I want to retire when I'm 50. I'll go down to Tampa. And then I'm like, do I have to wait till then? Like, nobody says you can't go up and down. Snowbirds were invented decades ago.
That's right.
Why not have a business down there and a business up here?
Right.
So I'm just like, see what goes on in Tampa. And, guys like you motivate me to try new things. Everybody keeps telling me the same thing. Fred, you have like a radio voice. You should really try to do something with that. And because I go to the Dream League, I do the special needs baseball.
Okay.
So during the season, every Monday I go down there and I'm doing like baseball announcing for the kids.
Nice.
So I have a great time. These kids are the best, man. I love them. Like I literally can say that and not be fake about it. Like I love every one of these kids. And all they want to do is play some baseball, hear their name come through the speakers, and I say safe at first and like, this guy's up next and that's another shot by, and I give them nicknames and, I just love doing it. It's just fun. And that's why I love doing this. I think it's just the best, so I wonder if it's like one of those things where it's like, well, you can go FXV South. You can maybe try being a voiceover guy for certain different aspects, or who knows? But it's cool to talk to somebody like you that's like, hey, man, I started doing this during COVID. COVID wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And now you have like this whole other career.
Yeah, man.
That's killer.
I was just thinking back to when you said, like, when you mentioned you could never be in voiceover, you don't think you'd be in voiceover. I don't have the voice to be in voiceover. Well, guess what? You're an announcer. That is a voiceover genre.
Yeah. I always said, man,
that's a genre.
I would love to have been. My dream would have been just calling baseball games.
It's never too late, man.
That would have been my dream.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
I would love to do that. That's a goal. That's a dream. That's a dream. Because I don't know if my wife would be too happy with me traveling with a team across the country. I don't know, but calling baseball games, man, is just like.
What about hockey?
I love hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love hockey. I'm a big Tampa Bay Lightning fan, as you know.
Well, once you get down there, I will plug you in with some of the key players behind the scenes.
Yeah, a lot of Lightning people.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait to go. That Saturday will be my first game at Amalie Arena.
Okay.
I've only seen him here I've seen him on Long Island. I've seen him in New York City. I've seen him in Philly. But I'm looking forward to that, being with my people.
Yeah.
In Tampa.
Yeah.
There's not many of them around here. But that would be killer, man. I think about that too. I'm like, is my next career even like, is it marketing or is it like just working for a sports team or doing something cool like that? Or, who knows? But, and you're right. You're never too old, but it's so fun to dream about those things. It's so fun to dream about what you can be and, how I guess only you yourself are stopping. from achieving those dreams and those goals.
That's right.
But I mean, shit, man, I grew up dreaming. I love dreaming. I feel like I have a lot of dreams left.
Go after them, bro.
You gotta, like even you're doing, I mean, I don't know if it's a dream per se, but like, is it a dream to be a voiceover coach, or was it something you just thought of one day, or? I keep calling you a coach. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Artist.
It's all good. It was something that I was like just kind of having fun with at first. Like radio, it started with radio. Well, let me take it back to the beginning. It started with me being a DJ. And I was just a DJ, 2 turntables, mixer, microphone, but I didn't talk on it. I was cut, scratch. I'm not talking. I talk with my hands. Like I was that guy. You know what I mean? And then I started like paying attention to a lot of other DJs who use the microphone, like the Kid Capri's, locally, Johnny V, big shout out to him. He was a big inspiration for me coming up. And people would always like say, yo, like get on the mic. Like you have a good voice. I'm like, ah. And then I started talking on the mic, and then I would notice people were like paying attention. I'm like, okay. Maybe I do have something. And then the more I would talk on the mic, then people would say, dude, you might want to think about radio. I was like, get out of here. And then I started doing some networking. This was back in the late 90s, and started networking with Golden Boy of Power 99. Back then, he was the program director of the station, and muscled my way through there, and he gave me a shot. Doing some guest mix weekend appearances. First DJ from Reading on Power 99. I just want to document that. So that started. So once that happened, and I was live. It was live. It was records. 100% live. You know what I mean? And that's when I got that bug for radio. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. But I couldn't get put on Power 99 full time because, politics.
Yeah.
I could go further with that, but I'm not going to. So, one of the things I learned is, if you want to be really successful about things and you want to take it to another level, you got to leave. And that's what I did. I left. I went to Charleston, South Carolina. I was offered a radio position down there, drove down there, and I think we talked about this the last time.
Yeah.
Got that radio job, then went to Tampa, got that radio job and started talking, and was cutting commercials, and I was always intrigued by the next level. Like, man, I really want to hear myself on TV. I'd love to hear myself on a commercial, tonight on Hell's Kitchen. I want to, like it just like.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man.
Like I've always wanted to do that. And that it's very, very, very competitive, but I don't know. I've just always been intrigued by, like, always wanted to challenge myself. And I've always been big on challenging myself. Once I master something, it's like, okay, I don't want to get comfortable.
Yeah.
I want to challenge myself and try something different. But yeah, man, it started out as kind of like a little hobby. I'll do this for fun, whatever, make a little commercial here. Then the next thing you know, my phone's starting to ring. Hey, I need a spot. Hey, I need a spot. Hey, I need a spot. Hey, I need a commercial. I'm like,
yeah,
maybe I need to look a little deeper into this. So I started doing some research and started looking at microphones and interfaces and what I should get and how to perfectly acoustically treat my room so I have a good sound, and how to read, how to talk away from the mic and not into the mic, the difference between a dynamic mic and a condenser mic, phantom power, all that stuff, editing on Adobe Audition,
yeah, dude,
all that stuff. And I'm still learning. I don't claim to know it all, but I'm still learning. And one of the big things in voiceover is practice, man.
Oh, yeah.
It is practice. It is practice and continuing to market yourself, market. I got a hosting gig, posting a video of me reading a car dealership commercial on LinkedIn. And it was a very high energy, you know what I mean? Get down to Vision Nissan of Greece. It was a really, really high energy, and I was really like animated in it. And next thing you know, I got a message from a gentleman by the name of Chris Kaeg. I don't know if you know Chris Kaeg.
I'm able.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hey, man, we need a host for our I Am Able bash.
That's right. I did see that.
You are our guy. I was like, really? Me? And yeah, I'll be doing. This is my third year.
That's
I'll be doing it.
awesome.
Yeah, on the 18th. Yeah, the first one was virtual because it was done by during COVID.
Right.
But that video got me that hosting gig every year. They don't want to. He's like, no, we want you to come back. So like it's like you never know, bro. You never know. Even
That's
if you,
true.
you know, and even if you use to jump on there and read something or whatever, you know, let's say you take a page out of your own book. You do a video of you doing some sports reads, some baseball reads. Post it on TikTok.
Post it on LinkedIn.
That too.
LinkedIn is you make that point too, that you've got this gig off of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very powerful.
Yeah.
People really hate the tchotchke stuff on there. Nobody wants any bullshit on LinkedIn.
Right.
I've realized, but in your case, you're providing a professional service on a professional network, and like you're absolutely right. I never even thought about it that way, but yeah, who wouldn't want to hire you after seeing your video on LinkedIn? Like that's not tchotchke at all, man. That's killer, dude.
Something to think about.
Yeah, man.
And I haven't posted on LinkedIn in a while. Like I haven't been as consistent with that as I was.
Which is funny because you just said you got a gig that you're gonna have every year.
Yeah. And I got complacent after that. You
go to Tampa a lot. You're a traveler, you know.
And I don't know what it is, man, but I'm just really fixated on Facebook and Instagram. I love Facebook and
Very
Instagram.
powerful. Very powerful. I mean, especially with advertising. If you know how to do the advertising bit correctly on those platforms, huge leads, huge conversions on there. It's really awesome. I don't blame you. I mean, I've been really trying hard to pay attention on my social media lately too. Like like you were saying, write it down for the month. You know, me and Will, we've been going through it every day. We're working on it every day. Right now, it's kind of slow because I think we're trying to find our groove and trying to find how we want to present ourselves. Because I think we're just perfectionists in that way. But we're getting somewhere, man. For sure. But yeah, man. I mean, I think LinkedIn is definitely one of the greatest places to do all those the voiceovers on, because who else is doing it too? That's the other thing too. Like LinkedIn has its own white noise, and you want to kind of be different from everybody else on there. But you want to get your point across. Whenever I put videos up, I see it happen.
Right.
And I think I remember seeing you do that video where you were doing, it wasn't just a car commercial, it was a feud, no?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one. That was cool. I remember just watching and going, wow, that dude's just, and you're right, you weren't talking into the mic, you were doing the side thing. I was like, that's so fucking cool, man.
Yep, just all the hand motions and the emotion, and
it made me realize I wasn't crazy. Because, I practice like the intros to the podcast. I'll sit there and I'll write them out in like the notepad first, and I'll read it a few times.
Right.
And I'll sit there early in the mornings like, welcome to Fred Talk, and I start doing the whole thing.
It's pretty good.
It takes a few times. But you're right, though. When you sit there and practice it and learn it and then go for it, man, it's a totally different feel, dude.
Practice is everything. Gone are the rip and read days as it pertains to voiceover. Radio, you can rip and read something.
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example. And this is no discredit to any radio station, but there's a client that I have a great relationship with, and I did their IVR on hold message. So they're doing radio commercials for a particular radio station to promote new aspects of their business. And the gentleman who runs this organization sent me the audio and was like, hey, man, can you bring this? I need you to bring this to life, because the way they read this, I'm just not feeling it. It sounds very announcered, like they're just reading. I got you. So I did the read and made it really heartfelt, and, made sure that I read it like 6, 7, 8 times and made it my own. In my studio, I have props. So I have pictures of my kids right by my screen. So I bring my copy up on my screen, my flat screen, and I have pictures of my kids. And I'll look at the picture of my daughter while I'm doing the read, and I'll smile, and I'll do this and I'll do that, and I'll do it over and over and over and over again. And it's all about how it makes me feel. And one of the things that my coach, Donovan, taught me one of the things he would always ask me after I did a read during one of our coaching sessions is, how did that make you feel? Felt good. He was like, yeah, felt good on my end too. Pause. So it's all about that connection.
It's emotional.
It's emotion.
Yeah, human factor, emotional.
Yep.
All those good things. I think that's why even I'm a little bit enamored by it. Like I used to have a radio show years ago, but it was like on an online app. It was called Station. It was really cool. It was me and my buddies. And all we did was talk about pop culture and music.
Right.
I remember one day, because I like to be like extra with everything, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write an intro for this thing. I know it's not like a real show or anything. It's just for us, but I'm gonna write it anyway.
Okay.
And I wrote it out one day, and I remember sitting in my car and just practicing. Then that first time I went ahead and did it, I knew my voice. I knew what I wanted to do. And I felt my voice change only when it was time to do the intro. And then it went back to normal when I was done. But it was just so much fun and so cool to hear the nuances that you can really do with your voice if you really sit there and practice it and figure out how to do it correctly. And it's just another way to be creative. Because if I'm anything, it's creative. Number one, first and foremost, I've always wanted to just be creative and figure out how to make $1 doing that so it wouldn't be work.
Right.
So I'm really into it. And I think, just having this conversation with you makes me go, you know what, man, maybe if you have time over the weekend, come up with a weird script or something and maybe sit there for a minute and just try to write it out, try to record some things and maybe have some fun with it, and who knows, maybe somebody will go, hey man, can you read this for me? And it's just like one of those things where like, it's not about making money per se, as much as it's, for me, it's finding someone that really digs what I'm doing and is asking me to help them out to do something.
Right.
Because that's when it's just like, that's so freaking cool. Help somebody just do something that they're into, that's important to them.
Take that, schedule that hour and just lock in on that. You speak Spanish?
See.
What are you doing, man?
97.9.
Oh, bro. Do you know how many times I get somebody asking me if I know somebody that will do a Spanish read?
Yeah.
Do you know somebody that can do this? You know somebody who can do this in Spanish? Spanish. I did the video for Reading Parking Authority.
Yeah.
That's playing in their office. I was the voice of that.
That's awesome.
And they wanted us. They do you know somebody who does it in Spanish? That could have been you.
Could have been me, man. Well, maybe I'll be the Spanish Hamilton. Senor Hamilton.
Yeah, well, I send you the script and you read it and you send it back to me and
right. Hey, you never know, man.
Yeah,
you never know.
Something to think about, man.
It might be something cool, But Sir Hamilton Newton, thank you so much for coming in. I know it's part 2 pretty quick, but I appreciate you coming in. I really enjoyed this conversation because it was good to learn more about you in the first part. I will say your past is definitely remarkable, and I appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you.
But I love listening to the voice coach stuff, man. It's if anything, whoopsies. If anything, it's maybe a selfish podcast because I just really wanted to know more about you and more about your craft. But I appreciate you taking the time, my brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of Fred Talk. And I hope you totally dug what you just saw. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe because I need you to watch all my videos because, YouTube, all those great things. And you can check us out online at fredtalk.tv.